Now it is my honor to introduce our speaker today. I have to say, Marci, I've heard so much about you, and I know that your reputation goes far beyond New Jersey and what you've been doing for our industry. So I really am privileged to be up here to introduce you today. And our speaker is a wealth of experience, and she has a keen understanding of the evolving landscape of AI. Marci Lemons-Ryle stands at the forefront of groundbreaking developments that are reshaping our industry and challenging our perceptions of what is possible. Marci is a licensed managing broker, realtor, avid volunteer, major donor, and dedicated to all things real estate. With over 25 years of marketing experience, Marci has taught over 250,000 realtors how to earn up to 2,682% return on their marketing dollars. As a realtor, Marci has earned several sales awards, the Realtor Achievement Award, and the President's Award from the Chicago Association of Realtors. Marci holds a Bachelor's of Science degree in management from Chicago State University, a Master's in Business Administration from St. Xavier University, and over 50 real estate-related licenses, certifications, and designations. Now let's give a warm New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania welcome to Marci. Good luck.
What's going on, everybody? I'm your girl, Marci Lemons-Ryle, real estate keynote speaker, 6-time international best-selling author, and the podcast host of Drive with NAR, the podcast of the National Association of Realtors. I teach class from the concept of seek first to understand. I do not believe there are any dumb questions. According to your licensing rules and regulations, regardless of the state in which you come from, I'm mandated to give you 50 minutes of instruction for every 1 hour of credit. You will be here with me for 3 hours. No need in getting antsy right now. The time said 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want you to know that most people are actually shocked that I am so short. But I want to let you know that I am, and I claim it all, a mid-aged, overweight woman, and I'm running circles around everybody in my house because of artificial intelligence. I believe in following the rules and the regulations because in 1999, I went through a bitter lawsuit with my family. I was an unwedded mother, and I wanted to feel like a stay-at-home mom and earn an above-average income. Real estate afforded me that opportunity. When my son Skylar graduated from Howard University in 2019 with a degree in finance, and I had no student loan debt, I realized that real estate had accomplished the goal. So following the rules and regulations to be able to accomplish the goal. But today we need to talk about how we're going to create an AI ethical real estate driven world. And I think you're going to be shocked by some of the things that you're going to see today, which is why I believe in that concept of seek first to understand, and there are no dumb questions. When you take a look at this picture, this is an AI-driven picture. It is text to image. Today, we can create whatever it is that we want, provided that we have the ability to tell someone what to do. And when I think about our ability to tell someone what to do, I tell people if you have a significant other, you've ever had children, or you have a pet, you have mastered the ability to tell someone what to do and how to do it. Well, now leveraging that same skill set from the palm of your hand, we can leverage these tools in our business every single day. Did anybody here know or did not know that that was text to image? Some people definitely did not know that that was text to image. I've taken a few ethics courses. Just finished up one with Ethics in the Age of Generative AI, where we can automate every single redundant task that exists. You can go take this class too over on LinkedIn for absolutely no cost, and no, you do not have to be a premium member. But when I stand here today, I also think about my volunteer efforts. I am an avid volunteer. I sit on the board of directors of the Chicago Association of Realtors, the National Association of Realtors, and the Real Estate Business Institute. I believe to whom much is given, much is expected. As I hold this book up, I'll let you know that this is an AI-generated book. The cover of the book, we leveraged Mid-Journey. The content of the book, we leveraged OpenAI. I created this book to honor Michelle Mills Clement, the CEO of the Chicago Association of Realtors, on her 5th anniversary. But then I decided that the proceeds of the book should go back to help fund V77. V77 is the diversity committee of the Chicago Association of Realtors, where we have one representative from each of the 77 communities that make up the city of Chicago are on that committee. This book right here is created with artificial intelligence. And most people would never know that. AI is defying everything that we believe in. We cannot trust what we see. We cannot trust what we hear. And because we owe every single person we work with due diligence, we have to now research in more depth before we share anything, before we like anything. Because when we like something online, that means that we are endorsing that. And when people come and look, they want to know, what do you believe in? So this book, 100% artificial intelligence, but I decided to leverage it in order to create non-dues revenue for my local association. But let me also, because I'm going to brag on this, why would I even want to raise money for these 77? Because I did a Facebook Live video back in 2020 that raised $88,000 for a committee I wasn't even a member of at the time, because I believe volunteers need to come with a given heart. Well, thank you very much. You too can create a book for your local association, right? Lately, morale to me has been at an all-time low in real estate. And when I think about that, people come to me every single day and they want to know about, the side hustles and what else can they do. And I'm not here, I don't want anybody to leave the industry, because I told you real estate has been my everything. What you're looking at is actually a fellow realtor. Her name is Kimberly Alford. She had the opportunity to speak at her first realtor conference and expo this year. She's a real estate developer with a master's degree from Northwestern University. She decided that she was going to leverage AI art in order to bring more visibility to her business. And so Playground Pastime over on Instagram is Kimberly Alford, but let's see what we can actually create with text to video. So the possibilities are endless. The question is, are we ethical in our creation? That also takes me to the fact that we now live in another biased world. AI artwork defaults to Caucasian male. I am intentionally creating other races in my AI creation because I 100% believe that everyone needs to see themselves in images and in videos. When you take a look at the screen, I created her. I leveraged Mid-Journey on the left-hand side to create 4 photos. I've never seen necessarily an Indian female being represented in real estate. I decided to isolate that top right-hand picture, and then I used a tool to create a video from the photo. And here is what it had to say.
Are you struggling with disengaged viewers during virtual tours? The key lies in crafting AI avatars that resonate with your target audience. Drawing inspiration from behavioral psychology, create avatars that mirror your potential buyers, ensuring higher engagement rates.
AI. Now I'm seeing your faces, and that's why I wanted to just let you know where we are right now. This is not hypothetical. This is not coming. It is here right now, and every person in this room has access for little to no cost from the palm of your hand, because most of what you are seeing, I actually create while I'm on a flight, provided that I have internet access. Here's what's the problem though. Even though we've had access to pretty much all of the tools that I've just shown you for about 1 year now, the government just set up AI.gov in the past 45 days. The rules have not been defined yet on how we're going to use these tools. But I want to take you back in time. I'm going to take you back to 2007. In 2007, I was the queen of foreclosures. My husband drove me to Appleton, Wisconsin. I was 9 months pregnant in a blizzard so that I could become certified to teach the SFR course. How many people were doing business during the foreclosure crisis? Okay. Now, the reason I'm asking them to raise their hand is because I think you will recall people start coming up with their own rules and regulations on a transaction. Forget license law. Forget the Realtor's Code of Ethics. This is how we're going to do this. But according to the National Association of Realtors Code of Ethics, it states that the rules apply, and they modified it to state by technological means. So the same code of ethics that applies offline, that applies to traditional real estate transaction, that applies to short sales, that applies to REOs, also applies to technology, also applies to artificial intelligence and ChatGPT and Claude and Bard and text to image and text to video. We still have to adhere to the same identical rules and regulations because it stipulates by technological means. The problem is the federal government has yet to even come up with defined rules for artificial intelligence. And ChatGPT is now 1 year old. It made 1 year old on November the 30th. I actually celebrated that day because I wanted to know, what was I doing when I thought the world changed? Last year, me and my son were getting a haircut together. And so, yes, they have finally come up with AI.gov. We're not sure about rules on copyright. We're not sure about rules on biases. We're not sure about how these tools will change us moving forward and what the world will look like. But here's what I know. And this has nothing to do with none of the states here, so you can't go and tell on me. About 8 weeks ago, there's one state that I'm a course provider in. Well, I'm a course provider in multiple states, but I'm picking on one state. And I go to submit a course. Now I'm thinking I can submit this course online because we're dealing in the world of artificial intelligence. They say, no, you cannot submit the course online. You must print the course and mail it to us. Now, instantly, I thought, oh, this got to be the most antiquated system in the world. What I want us to keep in mind, we still are licensed individuals who have to adhere to licensing rules and regulations. For everyone who's fearful, thinking about leaving the industry, I want to assure you right now today, there's not a state licensing board that has kept up with past technology. Do not make the assumption that they will start now. They don't know anything about artificial intelligence when I got to physically print a course out, put it in an envelope, take it to the post office to make sure that it has the correct postage on it so that it can reach its destination when I could have uploaded a PDF copy. You laughing, right? And we worried? Don't be worried. I can tell you right now, it's going to take at least 10 years. And right now, today, you still need to be a human being, right? They still want Social Security numbers, right? You still got to earn at least a GED. I am not worried about AI taking over me being a licensed individual when selling real estate requires a license of a human being. But do I want to know what these tools are so that I can be more productive? Yes. Do I want to know what these tools are so I can earn more money? Yes. And I'll tell you tomorrow morning, I'm going to show you the proof because I have increased my productivity 261% and my income by 283% within the first 6 months of leveraging these tools. But I'm keeping in my mind all the time, girl, you got to adhere to license rules and regulations, and you must adhere to the code of ethics, and that is what we're going to talk about. So AI.gov is a website that I want to recommend that every person in this room monitors because the rules and regulations are developing. But I also want to take you back to when I got my real estate license, okay? Now, I instantly thought I was brilliant. I'm one of the few people in the state of Illinois who did not take the pre-license course. There was this small window of opportunity where if you have an undergrad degree or a master's degree, you could just sit for the exam. At the time, my younger cousin was living with me, okay? My younger cousin is an attorney. He's been an attorney since the age of 25. Now, even though he passed the bar exam the first time and was an attorney by the time he was 25, I figured I was smarter than him because he was living in my house, okay? So he comes home because he just sits for the exam as an attorney in the state of Illinois. He throws this AMP book at me and he says to me, hey, Marci, I think you can go get your real estate broker's license. I said, okay. I studied the book, took the exam, passed it the first time. Now, you know I thought I was smart, right? I passed this exam the first time. What you gonna do, right? I didn't know, unbeknownst to me, that the pre-license course has never told a person or taught a person how to sell real estate. Never, ever, ever. And let me tell you when I realized I didn't know nothing, okay? I realized I didn't know anything when I went to go show my first property. And I called the office, right? And I'm like, I want to show 123 Main Street. And they're like, well, what is your MLS ID number? Say it again. No, because that's exactly what I said. No, this is what I said. I said, what is that and where do I get one from? I realized I needed to go down to the Chicago Association of Realtors. While I'm at the Chicago Association of Realtors, I'm looking at my Chicago Association of Realtors, my Illinois Association of Realtors, the National Association of Realtors, the MLS one-time setup fee, and the MLS fees, right? And I'm hot because none of that was in my business plan. So I write a check, because this is 2003, and I slide the check over to the young lady working the front desk at the association. And then I say something real smart, Alec. I say, I'm glad that this is the last check I have to write you. And she stops the check. And she says, no, darling, if you want that good MLS access, you'll write a check like this every single year. You could have bought me for 1 penny. It was that moment that I realized I didn't know nothing. And I never wanted to feel that way again. But I'm going to tell you what I do remember. I had to sign off on 2 different sheets of paper. The first one was to IDFPR. That is the Illinois Department of Professional and Financial Regulations. And at the bottom, this is what I want you to pay attention to. It said that I, Marci Lemons Rowell, the person who just realized she didn't know nothing, was responsible for keeping up with all of the changes to the rules and the regulations. That it was not the state's responsibility, nor is it the association's responsibility to tell me the rules to a license that I possess as an independent contractor. So guess what I do? Keep up with all of the changes to the rules and the regulations, because I signed off on that nice little sheet of paper. The second thing, when you're looking at the realtor side, it said that I would adhere to the National Association of Realtors Code of Ethics. And that, knowing that I did not know anything, is the one thing that stands out consistently. My responsibility as an independent contractor, being gainfully self-employed, as an entrepreneur, it is my responsibility. So that AI.gov website, you want to write that down and occasionally check it. Because what you can't do when it comes to licensing rules and regulations is blame someone else's, right? You can't say, oh, ignorance cannot be bliss when it comes to the license, that we all had to go through something in order to gain something. How many people are familiar with the National Association of Realtors core standards? I see a few hands. So when I'm creating classes, I'm consistently thinking about all of the rules and regulations. How do they overlap? Because I like to take one effort to accomplish multiple goals. So you're in this class today because one is continuing education. It's also an NAR ethics qualifying course. And amen. And some of you know absolutely nothing about AI, and those of you who do might want to know more. So when we start thinking about this and how we move forward to become more productive, I want you all to start identifying where the overlap occurs, right? Because we're all very busy. So this course is going to allow you to accomplish multiple goals. And one of those goals definitely is the fact that you need to take an ethics course. They mandate how often you take an ethics course, right? And if you don't qualify, you're going to get a whole bunch of emails about the fact that you have not taken your ethics class. So this class not only meets the ethics qualifying course, but it also meets the core standards of the National Association of Realtors, okay? He's taking this picture over here. I was on LinkedIn. I want you to take a look at this. People worry about bias in AI, but actually that's all AI is, a summary of our biases. So it's actually pretty good at showing us our own. Here are the first 16 images Midjourney created in response to a photograph of the perfect employee. What do you notice? Are we ready for recruiting algorithms yet? So it has bias, right? When we went and did this search, you can't see it well, but every person in that photo is white. Why is that? That is because artificial intelligence is trained on all the data that already exists on the internet. When I took that ethics course over on LinkedIn, it consistently talked about the databases in which AI is trained on. Every database is biased if it is only relying on the information that already exists on the internet, because the internet is, one, not accurate. Two, it is biased. So that then means for us to be ethical, we have to now in the future create a database where everything is equal to offset the negativity. The reason I'm pointing this out is because when we're using these tools, we want to be conscious of the bias that exists inside of the system, because the system is incorrect. So last night, a couple of us went out to dinner. And as I was sitting there, Buddy Chuck West, who's teaching another class right now, he started asking me a few questions, right? And as he was asking me these questions, I'm going to go open up another system. He was like, well, Marci, one, I don't know anything about text to image. And what if you asked it this? And what if you asked it that? What would it create? So last night, while we were sitting at dinner, the first question that he asked me was, just go and do a picture for a real estate professional in New York, right? So I asked AI for a picture. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Let's go back. Let's do this. Duplicate. What? Oh, I'm going to just show you. It's going to be real interesting. Hold on one second. We're going to duplicate these displays. Keep changes. Okay, hold on. So, don't switch. Let's go. Okay. So it gave me what? 4 white men. Okay? Not a woman in sight. No race. That's what it gave me. Now let me just show you, because I believe in social proof, right? I said a real estate professional in New York. Okay? So we were having different conversations last night. Of course, we decided that we were talking about being Jewish, right? Now, in this picture, exactly, let me just say this, but I prompted it because this is what I wanted to see if it would have an assumption. I said a Jewish person selling their home in Brooklyn, New York. So they then made the assumption of how a Jewish person would look because of New York. You got me? Okay. So we can see, and look, I said a Jewish person. They don't have Jewish women? Exactly. So it made the assumption, once again, that it was a man. So then I decided, now this is sitting at dinner last night. We decided, I was very intentional on this, but I wanted to see to what degree would it go. I said, gay white male selling real estate in Miami. Okay? We got us a hot pink suit. We got us a chiseled body, right? Because it is bias.
You said hot gay man.
No, I didn't say hot gay man. I said white gay man, but I'm going to tell you what I put in there. Miami. And it made an assumption that if you were gay, white, and male in Miami, that you would wear a hot pink suit or sell real estate in your swimming trunks. Right? Thank you. And so these are the things, but I've been using it long enough that I knew those other words to give it, like Miami or New York, right? But you still realize in the first two, it did not give you a woman. Okay? It didn't give you a woman, it didn't give you brown, it didn't give you black, it didn't give you Hispanic, it didn't give you Asian, it didn't give you Indian, it didn't give you none of that because of the bias that already exists inside of the system. Now I'm showing you photos and videos. Those same bias exist even with your words. So we do have to be careful because we still have to adhere to licensed law and to the Realtors Code of Ethics in every single thing that we're doing. I just want to point this out to you. So there's a young lady. She works over at Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram. I was pretty excited to see this. Chat Black GPT. Yeah, Chat Black GPT. It's a tongue twister. It's a mouthful, okay? But let me tell you why I'm excited about it. In the last month, Chat GPT has given every person who has a Plus account the ability to create their own GPT. Essentially, it is a system that you get to train on all of your data. So I'm seeing a couple of CEOs here. That means that CEOs, you can train your own Chat GPT for your association based on all of the data that you as an association have been archiving to make it a benefit to all of your members. Anybody here who owns a franchise, you can now train your own Chat GPT. What am I doing? I have over 6,000 pieces of content inside of a private membership. That information is not available to the public. I'm training my own Chat GPT on all of the video content because every time you do a video, you have text transcription and audio from every video. Video is the only form of content that you can repurpose without recreating the content. So why was I excited? I was excited because, this is going to be rough. 3 years ago, Zeke Morris was installed as the first Black president of the Illinois Association of Realtors. Zeke and I go back 2 decades. We've been partners on and off in some capacity. So on Facebook, we're all excited to get our first Black state president. So we're talking about the fact that we have our first Black state president. An affiliate, not a Realtor member, slides into my DM and she says to me, I get that you have your first Black state president, but why does that need to be in the post? Isn't this a little overkill? Now, I didn't know how to respond, okay? One, because it was after 5 p.m., and I made the assumption that they had had a couple of drinks, right? So I never responded. When ChatGPT came out, I took the question with the picture and posted it and asked it how it would respond. I will tell you it came up with the most politically correct, responsible answer that I had heard because it is clearly not the answer I would have used. Now, at this point, I still haven't said anything to that person, but I want you to know that person has not received one referral from me or my agents since the time that they decided to inbox me. Because I thought that they were being irresponsible in their response, okay? And I also thought that they sent me that message while intoxicated. It's okay to put your device down once you've had a couple of drinks. I can tell you it is going to alter how you're going to respond. So the young lady, probably 35 years old, she develops this Chat Black GPT. And she's trained it on all of these different data points around being Black. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be a very popular GPT. But what she is telling us is, you have bias over here. Let us counter that bias with what black people believe to be black information. Now, as I tell everybody, you got to have more than one black friend, because we not one size fits all, okay? We all got variations in what we believe in, but I believe that everybody should have multiple friends from multiple groups, because what you will realize is your beliefs are only your beliefs. Give you this prime example. On the south side of the city of Chicago, on Friday night, we eat fried catfish, spaghetti, and coleslaw, right? Now, it's almost like going to church on Sunday on the south side of the city of Chicago. One family got catfish, somebody else might have buffalo, somebody else might have whiting, somebody else might have perch. But everybody on my block on Friday night had fried catfish, spaghetti, and coleslaw. So I made the assumption that that was what every household did until Facebook. A fellow realtor who's at a South Suburban office did her thing on a Friday, because that was her love language. She cooked spaghetti, made homemade coleslaw, right? And she fried fish. She comes over to Facebook. She says, do you know that the people in my office don't eat fried catfish, spaghetti, and coleslaw on Fridays? So we all chiming in, right? The people from Chicago. And then the people not from Chicago started chiming in too. And somebody said, well, we would eat herring. We like herring? Oh, we don't eat herring, right? So instantly I'm thinking, oh, this is a racial divide, okay? And clearly black folks doing something totally different, until I go down south. So I'm down in Mississippi with my relatives. And I'm assuming that this was something that we had brought up from the south with us. Until I'm looking around, I'm like, so on Friday night, we're going to have, fried catfish, spaghetti, and coleslaw. They like, who eats that? I said, wait a minute. Y'all don't eat fried catfish, spaghetti, and coleslaw? They was like, oh no, that first of all, that sounds nasty, Marci, okay? What I came to realize, because of diversity, is that only the black people on the south side of the city of Chicago find fried catfish, spaghetti, and coleslaw a delicacy. It wasn't even a race thing. It was a community thing. And if all of your friends look and sound like you, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. You're clueless on the variations that exist of the world. You have no idea that your way might only be your way. And it might not be anything right about that. Now, for all of us who have a significant other, they've already pointed out our character deflects, okay? So we already know. So you got Chat Black GPT. In addition to the Realtors Code of Ethics, we got some new rules and regulations. We got the 2023-2025 strategic plan of the National Association of Realtors. And there's some things that stand out in this plan. Most of us know about political advocacy. We know we need housing production and access, consumer advocacy, risk management, climate and sustainability, commercial industry engagement, strategic alliance. I want us to think global outreach. I showed you a video of an Indian female with an accent. I intentionally gave her a Hindu accent. Business intelligence, resources, and tools, that's where AI falls. Real estate data and business models, that's where AI falls. Realtor well-being, we can leverage AI to create well-being plans based on where you are versus where you want to be, because real estate agents lack enough medical insurance, period. We are underinsured. So the first thing I thought about was global outreach. What is a way that we can leverage AI for global outreach? Say it again. Languages. Thank you. Artificial intelligence can translate into over 100 different languages. Canva can translate into 134 different languages. Anyone here a member of the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals? Raise your hand. Got a couple of hands, okay? When I think about the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals, I'm going to come back 1 second for you guys, though. I want us to think about strategic alliances. That's ARIA, NAREB, NAREP, LGBTQ plus alliance, would all Women's Council would all fall under there. But this is what I want us to think about. I was in Omaha not too long ago. And when I was in Omaha, according to their Chamber of Commerce, in the next decade, Spanish will be the #1 language of Omaha. How many of us have checked in with our Chamber of Commerce? I don't know about you. I'll just be getting ready to retire in 10 years. I want to retire in style, right? I want to go out with a bang. I don't want to be on my last leg having a lackluster career, right? I know how I want to go out. So in order to go out with a bang, understanding that Spanish might be the #1 language, I need to start creating what? Come on, we got our entrepreneur hat on. I need to start creating what? Spanish content. But let me be clear, because I need to keep the code of ethics in this, right? According to Article 11, there's a thing called competency. I speak no Spanish. That means I am not competent to service anyone who is not very fluent in English. I would not service them well. But because I have friends, raise your hand. Again, my National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professional members, raise your hand. Put it on up there now. Okay. I can put out Spanish content so that I can go out with a bang and refer to my new friends who are bilingual and competent, right? So leveraging artificial intelligence and being in accordance with the strategic plan means that now I want to leverage these AI tools to create bilingual content, not for the purpose of me servicing, but for the purpose of me building yet another referral stream, because what I'm going to do is put out content every single day. It takes me exactly 1 minute to transcribe a 1,000-word blog post from English to Spanish. Or better yet, you broaden what your brokerage looks like, and you have someone who speaks every language, and you create content for every last language that is a part of your team or your office. Because not only now are we adhering to the strategic plan, we're also doing the right thing, but we are building business so that in the next 10 years, when Spanish or Mandarin might be the #1 language in your marketplace, because Spanish is not going to be the #1 language in everybody's marketplace, that you have content. So what I'm learning is that when I'm ethical and I find solutions for being ethical, I actually expand my digital footprint, thereby expanding the earnings, right? So that one person who never steps outside of the box doesn't even know that these possibilities exist. They don't know that they might be antiquated in a decade because they might not be speaking the language of the community that in some cases they might have been born in. I was born and raised within 3 miles of where I live right now. The community has changed substantially. I plan on living there forever. You know why? Nah. Look, I'm going to take that catfish wherever I go. I'm going to break some people in on that catfish. I'm going to just tell you that right now. The reason is because that's where my husband can afford for us to live based on appreciation. My husband cannot afford for us to move. Our house, we owe $200,000. It just appraised for $853,000. My husband does not make enough money to buy an $853,000 house. So we're going to die. I just need y'all to know right there in that house, okay? And I want to be able to talk to all of my neighbors. A couple of other things that stand out. I want us to look at engagement of the next generation professionals. We got YPN in here today? No YPN. Okay, I see a YP. Put the YPN in. And let me be clear. YPN, Young Professional Network. Let me tell you how I know. I am the proud parent of a second generation realtor who is on the YPN advisory board. So I'm clear about what that looks like now. For some reason our PowerPoint has gone out. Can I get some help up here? No, it went completely out. Let's see. And I wasn't over here. So I'm going to keep talking. If I can get some help at the back of the room, the PowerPoint, it just shut down. They might need to get another projector. Yeah, it did shut down, didn't it? Yeah, it completely shut down. No power. Well, and I don't know if it's no power because no one up here touched anything.
It's actually interesting because it's red status
It's on red status.
instead of green.
Yeah, it's on red status instead of green, so it might have become overheated. Yeah. It's blue again, so maybe it's coming back on. Well, here's the good thing. I know it's on my slide, so it don't matter. Okay. So when we think about the Young Professional Network, and I had a couple of hands up, okay? Instantly, I see agents my age and older who think they can strategically align with the next generation of folks, okay? The next generation of people don't necessarily want to align with us, okay? They don't necessarily believe in what we believe in. And if we do not respect their opinion, they're not going to align with us, okay? So now, as a seasoned professional, we have to start thinking about where is the win-win for all parties. For me, I want you to think about this. I'm not trying to strategically align with the YPN. Being a 53-year-old mid-aged woman who's married, there are some benefits. You already know my friends can afford more. We've all had promotions. I see my friend Bill laughing. Afford more. When I came into real estate, my average price point was $250,000. I just wanted my friends to earn $100,000 to be able to afford what it was that I was selling. Today, the average household income of any of my friends is $300,000. That means they can all afford $750,000 because the rule of thumb is that a person can afford 2.5 times their gross annual income. So now, how do we empower the next generation realtor? We become their mentor. We advise them, but we can't tell them what to do. And so thank you, the PowerPoint came right back on. Okay, so we're going to go right back to that last slide. So we need to start thinking about, according to these rules and regulations, how are we going to train the next person? Let me just, this is kind of personal, so I'm going to get it out. I am an ABR certified instructor. I'm actually inducted into the ABR Hall of Fame. With everything that's going on in the world, it is very easy to now go back and start teaching buyer representation courses, right? I can work in my sleep teaching buyer representation courses right now because they're needed, especially the ABR. If you do not know how to implement a buyer representation agreement with an offer of compensation, you need to go take the ABR course, right? So instantly I'm thinking, oh, I should think about dusting off my ABR skills. And then I sat there, I said, girl, that's a horrible utilization. That is not the highest and best use of your time. What you need to do is cultivate the next ABR instructor and stick to what it is you are good at doing. When we reach a certain age, we should not go back and do the same thing we've already done. We should mentor the next generation of people to come and do it. One, because you're building new strategic relationships and they look out for you. The man who put me on back in 2006, Frank Williams, Last year, when it came time to submit an application for a fair housing advocate for the National Association of Realtors, because he had put me on back in 2006, I did his application. You do know he's a fair housing advocate, okay? And so they don't forget easy, but we want to reach out to them. So when we take a look here, because we back on and popping with our PowerPoint here, we also are taking a look at, let me go get where I wanted to be. We got our global outreach. We also have diversity, equity, and inclusion as a part of that, but we also have a sense of belonging. Everybody wants the opportunity to be able to see themselves. As associations, as franchise owners, as real estate professionals, because I've showed you so many free low-cost tools, right? Mid-Journey, ChatGPT. I even told you about Canva briefly. We can do all of this and do it for absolutely no money. And as a result of doing it, you put yourself as a seasoned professional, as a veteran, we would call it, into a totally different position. And so I wanted to pull 3 of these: engagement of the next generation professional, a sense of belonging, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And all of these are text to image that we get to use in order to be ethical in the world of real estate, whether selling and or volunteering. And then we also have the National Association of Realtors REACH program. REACH is essentially the technology incubator of the National Association of Realtors. A couple of people who've been in there is Real Greater, okay? So how are you going to be found online? And then also we have Productive.ai. Tell you what I love about Productive.ai. It is a compliance tool because we have emails that we can fact check. We have text messages, but we do not have recorded conversations. Tell you what I love about Productive.ai. It records every phone conversation that I have. When you call me, it tells you this call is being recorded for note-taking purposes. I have an audio recording. I have an audio to text transcription. I have a task to-do list. And if I said I'm going to meet with you Friday at 9 a.m., it is already set up the calendar invitation. But if anybody was to ever audit my phone call, I have proof that the call existed when it existed and word for word. So I do a lot of work with politicians. Recently, y'all got to keep up with this story. Recently, a chief of staff for a politician called me, okay? She called me because she is dating my oldest son's older brother. Let's get that started. Yeah, she laughing already. Well, I should say she dated my oldest son's oldest brother, okay? So Brandon is not my son, but he is my son's oldest brother. Make a long story short, my son calls the politician's office in order to get her email address to serve her paperwork for the lawsuit that she's going through with his older brother, right? The judge accepts the email receipt as her being served. She hot now because she has been officially served paperwork via email because my oldest son has read receipt on his emails. I thought it was pretty genius, right? She didn't find it genius at all, okay? She calls me. Say it again, mama. She calls me to go off on me about the fact that guess what? She has officially been served. In this, she uses her political job to threaten the mama. The mama who eat fried catfish, spaghetti, and coleslaw on a Friday night. Right. Okay. So, I got me a Saturday fried fish person over here. And so she proceeds to curse at me. At that moment, I say one thing. You do realize that this call is being recorded for note-taking purposes. She hung the phone up on me, but then called back because she wanted to hear the recording again. This call is being recorded for note-taking purposes. Officially last week, I provided that to her boss. Just a little productive.ai in your life. But when you call somebody, you should make the assumption that whether they announce to you or not, you are being recorded. You should also make the assumption with all of these great tools that anytime you're in anyone else's home, you're being recorded. What is the one room in someone else's home that you should expect privacy? Only in the bathroom of someone else's property should you anticipate privacy. You're not owed privacy in someone else's home, with the exception legally being the bathroom. Make the assumption that your phone calls, your emails, your text messages are being recorded. And because I have a captive audience here, I'm not going to call any out by name. There is zero privacy inside of any private Facebook group. If the creator of the group is not monitoring the post, it likely is a cesspool for license law and code of ethics violations. And I'm not going to mention any, but I've seen very little monitoring in these groups. And because we are in the midst of numerous lawsuits, it's not the place that you want to go and have commentary, because they are in there taking screenshots of your comments. Assume you have no privacy except for in the bathroom, okay? AI compliance is a process that involves making sure that AI-powered systems are compliant with all applicable rules, regulations, laws that exist. Real estate professionals should be sure to obtain permission to use any third-party work and comply with any license terms to avoid copyright infringement. So when we sign up for any new AI tools, and I'm going to be honest with you, it might not just be AI tools. It could be any tools that you've been using. We have to go back and actually read what those user terms are saying. I will tell you the likelihood, if you pay for a tool, they allow you to use that tool to monetize. No free tools are just giving you the right to use the content created in any form or fashion in which you desire. But that takes us back to getting a license. It is our responsibility to keep up with the rules and the regulations. It is not the state's responsibility. It is not the realtor organization you're a member of responsibility. And so most of the tools that I use, I'm going to pay a fee because I want to have the extended ability to use that platform in order to earn money. So I went over to Canva, I believe, and it becomes very detailed. And if you don't have the time to read it, then you likely shouldn't use it. But here, I'm going to give you a little hack here. AI can read, it can actually search, read, and summarize PDFs and Word documents. And so what I've been doing a lot of lately is copying the terms, pasting it into a Microsoft document, loading that to AI, and then searching for certain terminology, because it will summarize it and find it for you inside of any document. So think of your ability to do research, but to be able to pinpoint that research. So it's our responsibility to understand the terms of use. Also, what are the licensing agreements? I love Canva. I 100% believe that if you are a licensed individual and you were going to pay for a tool, you should pay for Canva. you should pay for Canva before you pay for ChatGPT. The reason is ChatGPT's API is infused inside of Canva. So you now have well over 12 AI tools in Canva, but you also have Magic Write, you have text to image, you have text to video, all inside of Canva. Now I see some people looking at me. Have y'all used any of those tools? No. Okay, I'm just gonna give you a little hack here. We're gonna give you a little quick tutorial, right? Because I want you to be ethical, but I also want you to be more productive as a result of being here today. So we're gonna run over to Canva real quick. And are there any questions so far? Yes, what's your question?
You were mentioning some of the terms and terminologies we're looking for in some. I know obviously each state has their own. What are some examples?
The one, how can I use it? Right? Because it tells you how you can use it. The word copyright, because I want to go just to those sentences to find out what the copyright rules and regulations are. One, on how I can use it, but also if I'm using these tools in order to create, how am I going to be protected? Here would be an example. When I looked at the cover of this book, right, I pay for Midjourney, I get to use this image. But this image is available publicly. That means that somebody else can come download this image and they can use it. If I did not want anyone to use this image, I could spend additional money to copyright the image. To me, it wasn't worth it to do that. And so you want to check to see, one, how can you use it? But if you're creating it and monetizing it, how can other people use your creation? And is there an additional fee in order to protect your works? Okay, because right now, going back to AI.gov, we don't really have defined rules when it comes to AI generated art. It is a work in progress. People aren't suing us as individuals, but they are suing the bigger companies like a Midjourney if Midjourney trained that AI image tool on any of their stock photos. Okay, and so they're not coming after individuals because Midjourney's the parent company. They used the tool to train it and alter it. So they're going after the bigger companies, the Midjourneys of the world. Tools like Copilot actually give you, so what they're saying is there's no likelihood of this image being on the internet already, and we give you the ability, the copyright of whatever that image is. So the more you pay, the more you have. But what am I talking about over here on Canva? When we come to Canva, I'm just going to go open up Docs. And when I open up Docs, I'm going to hit this plus sign because this is what's called Magic Write. Inside of Magic Write, I'm going to ask it 5 ways to sell your home or sell a home. 5 ways to sell a house. Let's do a house. During the holiday season. Okay, so how to sell this house during the holiday season. We're going to hit enter. Let's go back to Magic Write. It didn't give it to me. So let's do 5 ways to sell a house during the holidays. Okay, we're going to generate. So inside of Canva, who's the terms I'm showing you, it is going to give me 5 ways to be able to sell a house during the holidays. So I'm going to come back because I do believe most of us can't see this, and we're going to change this font to a appropriate font that everybody, especially us good people over the age of 40, can see without our readers. So you see it gave me those 5 tips. That's artificial intelligence. I'm going to come over here to the top right-hand side to convert it. I can now take that document and I can convert it into a PowerPoint. Okay? From the PowerPoint, I'm going to go to a tool called Magic Switch. I'm going to come down to transform this document. So I've come up with a document, 5 tips to selling your house during the holiday season. Let's say I want to turn that into a blog post. I am going to transform that into a blog post. We're going to transform it into 4 other things while I'm answering any questions. But I want to know what the terms are. If I'm coming over here and you're giving me these 5 tips to sell a house during the holidays, that not only do I have a tip sheet now, I have a presentation. We're going to have a blog post, an email, a song, and a poem before it's over. How can I use these tools? That's the real question. That means I have to read what those terms are, because this is going to save me a lot of time and energy in my business. So what other questions you have while this is generating? It generally takes about a minute. A minute seems like forever when you're just watching the screen. But any questions? We can get them all, yes.
I kind of got caught up with the language. I tried doing a post in Spanish, and I got a call from one of my clients who speaks Spanish and told me to remove the post because I was looking for hoes and does in some community. I'm like, I'm doing what? And she goes, it's the wrong dialect, sweetheart. Take it down.
Okay, so I got a couple of things about the dialect. I made a post over on Facebook. I now include a disclaimer with my post. Now, what she said was it was the wrong dialect. That means it was not her dialect. It doesn't mean that it potentially was not another Spanish dialect. I want to keep that first. So there's numerous dialects. Come up with a disclaimer, but here is what I want to tell you. So I make a post, someone comes and inbox me, and he was like, I see numerous mistakes. Well, what I did was I did English to Spanish, and then I went to another portal and I did Spanish to English to see what the translation was coming back. And it was 98% accurate. I then decided to go and look at their post to read what they were posting. I will tell you, their English was horrible, okay? And so we have to often think about the messenger and the fact that there is not one dialect of Spanish, or for that, probably for most languages. And so what I would recommend is to not create it, but think of creating it in a couple of different ways. 1, think about having a disclaimer. 2, think about who are going to be your team partners, or who can you identify with who would be willing to read that in exchange for something, right? So maybe with that same agent who said that you were talking about hoes and does, right? I would want to know, are they putting out content consistently? If they're not, you proof it, and we can do a referral business, and I'll refer any business off of this post back to you. So leverage that and partner with someone in the marketplace that might speak the dialect that you are trying to attract. I think there's numerous solutions, but I still think the content should be put out. Yes, sir.
Earlier you were speaking about the AI course on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Where do you find that? Is it from LinkedIn?
It is a LinkedIn course, and I will do if you inbox me, I'll do a search to send you the link from LinkedIn, or see if they can put it back in the notes, because I have to go back and search. But it is the Ethics Generative AI class available for free inside of LinkedIn. Yes. And then did I see somebody over here? Okay. So remember, we did our PowerPoint now to Docs. So when I come and I open this up, it gives me the 5 tips to sell your house during the holiday season. And this is now going to be a blog post. I'm going to come back. I'm going to hit the magic switch again, transform into your document. And now we're going to create an email. Okay. This is when I talk about being productive. Okay. These tools are absolutely amazing. But I just said, if you're going to translate, think about the disclaimer. Note that you might not be competent to serve that. That's the power of doing referral transactions. Engage someone on your team. Identify a top producing agent in your marketplace that you can post and become a referral source for them. There's so many other ways to leverage these tools. What we want to do is be honest and ethical in how we are holding this information out, whether we're going to be the person who serves them or not. So it'll be another second before this generation comes through so that we can share it with you. But I'm doing a lot inside of Canva. Now I'm going to show you one other. Okay, so now we have our email. Okay, now I'm going to do one more piece of content just so you can see this and think about how more efficient you can be. Let's do a poem on selling a house during the holiday season. And then we're going to do one translation. Now you can see we creating all this content in essentially a minute. Okay, so we're going to have our little list, our PowerPoint, our email, our blog post, our poem, and we're going to translate one piece of that content into another language. I want you to use these tools because if we don't use these tools, people not in real estate are using these tools and they're going to nickel and dime us. I want us to keep as much of our money, not at the ease of doing this. I want us to keep our money. And guess what? Unless we're training them on our rules and regulations, we shouldn't be outsourcing it to them anyway, because that does not mean that they're adhering to the rules and the regulations. I'm going to just enhance this so we can see what this poem sounds like. You can start reading the poem while I answer this question. Yes, sir.
How much does the
So what I'm showing you is premium because it's the Magic Write tool. It's $119.40 per calendar year. If you were going to invest in a tool, I would invest in Canva before I would ever get the plus version of ChatGPT because of all the things that Canva can do. If you were to do this, you also get the scheduler, you get all of the photos, the videos, the transcription. So you're getting substantially more tools inside of that $119.40. If you have a team or you are the owner of your company, you can make everything a template and share it with everyone, and it will never mess with that original document. So let's read a little bit of this. As the holiday bells began to chime, selling a house may seem a daunting climb, but fret not, for we have a plan to sell your property just as festivities began. Deck your home in festive cheer, but tastefully, so buyers hold it dear. Oh, that's a good one, right? Now, let's say that I want to translate this. I'm going to come back over here to this left-hand side. I'm going to hit the translate button. I am going to highlight this whole paragraph. I am going to come up here. I am going to speak, I'm going to go for Spanish. And I will tell you that some of the holiday terminology likely will not translate correctly, okay? We're going to hit translate. And in less than a minute, we would have our Spanish version of the poem. But go back to the 2023-25 strategic plan. Global outreach, reaching out to a younger demographics, diversity and inclusion. AI tools, to me, help us accomplish all of those goals, and we created 6 pieces of content in under 10 minutes. That's inside of Canva. So if you were going to pay for something, then I 100% believe that Canva would be that tool that you would pay for. Anything that artificial intelligence creates, you need to take the time to read it. Now, I'm actually offended by the amount of people who do not proofread the content. We just saved 75% of the time in creating it. The least we can do is proof it or come up with we should still proof it, but come up with a disclaimer to put at the bottom. I don't want you to think that I created it. I'm telling you this was created leveraging artificial intelligence. So terms of use, Canva content license agreement, and acceptable use policy. What is you can and cannot do. Every single platform has these terminologies for leveraging their tools in the world of real estate or in your business. Deceptively, Photoshopped images, AI generated descriptions, and misrepresentations in listings are among the problems beginning to surface as the adoption of AI tools increase. When I am using AI, I've come up with different prompts. I tell it how to act. I tell it it must adhere to real estate license law, the Realtors Code of Ethics, and fair housing rules and regulations, because there's certain terminology that we do not want included. And if we were to read it, we would see that terminology and we would know that we need to delete it. The number one word that comes up for me is family. It comes up time and time and time again. And even now, my family celebrates Christmas, okay? But I remember years ago, I was servicing a young lady, and every house we would get to, I would say to her in the basement, oh, this would be a great room for storing your Christmas decorations. I mean, every house, right? When we get to the third house, she looks at me. She says, Marci, what part of I'm a Jehovah Witness don't you understand? She taught me a very valuable lesson. Every house that I go in now today, it is simply additional storage, right? Additional storage. So I'm realizing everyone doesn't believe in some of the things that we believe in, and it's best if we just refer to a thing as a thing, right? Instead of defining it by what it means to us, okay? Very valuable lesson. But we have a lot of fake pictures, and we had fake pictures before AI. You know, the one where they go in and they make the room look like it's 20 by 25, and you get there and it's really 10 by 10, and you would have never come to see the property. But the only thing is, not only did the photos lie, but the description lied too, right? That's a lie. Don't waste another agent's time. Now, I also believe in the law of attraction. And because I believe in the law of attraction, I believe that if I waste your time, you have the ability to waste my time. And because I don't like my time to be wasted, I don't waste your time. But there are a lot of different tools out here now for staging the properties. We have to let people know. And the best way to do that is to do a side-by-side picture. Actual versus staged, so that they can see the possibilities and the transformation, but not that they believe that that is actually how the property looks. So this young lady, I absolutely love her. I went to go take a class with her in Virginia back in August. It was my birthday present to myself, so that I could become an AI animator, okay? And this is a skill set that she's teaching, but I want you to keep in mind what we just discussed when we look at this skill set that she's teaching. Now, so I wanted to take my younger son to go take her class. He said that her voice was annoying. He wasn't going to go. But I went because I wanted to become an AI animator, and she's partnered with a billionaire in order to teach AI, very intentional though, to people of color. Because of AI, people of color are going to be at a higher likelihood of unemployment in the future. So she's partnered with a billionaire to roll the education out. I will tell you the tool that she mentioned that she's using is called applydesign.io for anybody who wants to use it. But keep in mind, you must disclaim. You cannot have people, look, some of those after pictures definitely look good, but you're using those photos so that people will understand what is possible, not what it is. So that side-by-side photo comparison would be the best way, with the disclaimer that this property has been virtually staged to show you the possibilities. Did I see a hand? Couple of hands, yes.
Don't you think that AI will take the job of the realtor after the lawsuit claiming that the realtor taking too much money and for...
Okay, so the question is, do I believe that AI is going to take our job, especially based on the lawsuit? And here, earlier, when I was about right there, I said that we got licensing rules and regulations, and those rules and regulations are not getting ready to change anytime soon. Let me say this. So my personality, I think you might already know, is I concentrate on solutions, not on the problem. How are we going to leverage AI in order to stand out? What is our unique selling proposition? Now, I'm going to say this. As a realtor volunteer, I want every association to keep the head count because that's what the budget dictates. As a realtor, I definitely believe that we can have a thinning of the industry and that we don't need all of the practitioners. So I'm just going to tell you now I'm keeping my association volunteer hat on, and yeah, we want every warm body. But as a practitioner, we have some less than ethical people who believe that this job was like HGTV and it is anything else. So I'm 100% okay with there not being as many agents in the marketplace because I think we have too many. Am I going to be the one to leave? Absolutely not. I'm solidifying my spot, my affirmations, my actions. I'm going to leave when I get good and ready to leave. But let me tell you why. Because I'm committed to being an active lifelong learner and leveraging these tools, right? I do think it's going to be harder for the practitioner who has not committed to being an active lifelong learner to be able to earn a living to justify them staying here. So I'm looking at it. You see, I took that language a little different. Yeah, it's going to be less of us. But it's going to be less of us because it likely should be less of us. And some of us don't take this job serious, and some of us are okay with it being less of us, right? That's the entrepreneurship side of my brain. Yes?
Could you show us how you do your text-to-image in Canva?
Can I show you how I do my text-to-image in Canva? You know what? Because you asked, I'm going to show you everything. But what time is it right now? 1:30. Now, you know you can't leave out the room, but I do want you to stand up, okay? Just go on and stand up, okay? Well, let me say this. You can go to the bathroom, but I am not giving you all a break. You cannot take a break. You have to go individually. You know, roll your shoulders. Let's do a little shoulder rotation. I guess I should have put on some music right about now, right? Yeah. Yeah, you do a little shoulder rotation. Stretch your legs. Thank you. All right, everybody ready? Couple of things have been asked, and we're going to answer those. Couple of resources that people wanted as I was walking through the halls. Well, through the walkway, we'll call that. I got my music playing. Let me turn that off for you. We got it. I got you. So the first question was the young lady that I showed you that teaches the classes. How did I find out about her? I found out about her on Instagram, and she's grown like by 80,000 people since she partnered with the billionaire. But this is where you could find her. KEZIAMW. She does classes online and face-to-face in Alexandria. So I actually went to Alexandria to take the one-day class with her to become an AI animator, but she offers multiple classes. And the classes that she teaches, she has what's called a couple of things: night school and or the Black Startup, because she partnered with the Black Billionaire, to teach artificial intelligence. She used to work for the United Negro College Fund, and she's been very successful through the pandemic in creating these classes. And so you can definitely take her class online or in person, however you want to do that. So on Instagram, she is KEZIAMW. Her classes to me are relatively inexpensive. They're the same price online and in person. So imagine I flew into Reagan. I took the Uber, and the class was $149. It was an all-day class. But she taught me a new skill set. And let me tell you why I wanted to learn that new skill set. In the digital human avatar space, it is projected that it is going to be a $570 billion industry in the next decade. I wanted to know how to create basically AI faceless videos where their channel's making $500,000 a year. So it's a future skill. And I'm thinking, how do we attract clients to us? I'm going to show you one more thing while I'm over here on Instagram. So not only can you follow her, I'm going to go back one slide because I don't think we really understand how what we think we see is not real. This young lady right here is not real, but she has a BMW commercial. She's AI created. This is all Instagram. Make it real. Are you kidding me? Okay. Now, one thing to keep in mind, they gave her a boyfriend. So she has a relationship with an AI created boyfriend. They both do brand deals. And Asus Computer partnered with the #1 AI supermodel. Wow. And she's created via AI. You can see more of her looking AI than the other person. Whoever their creators are, they're getting that BMW check. They're getting that Asus check. This is why I went to go take the AI animation course and leverage it to attract more people to me. Because if a picture's worth 1,000 words, then 1 minute of video content is equivalent to 1.8 million words. Just to throw that out there for you, okay? So everybody in this quadrant is not real. That is all AI. That is all deep fake. Yeah. How do I what?
How do you know that?
I know it now, and I'm going to show you because someone asked me to show you the process. So I'm going to show you the process so that you will see the ease of doing it in real time. We had a couple of more questions, though. I can, most of them. Yeah. But once you see it a couple of times, you'll know. You'll pause. And you'll be like, don't know about that. Let me look a little harder. Right? But with this young lady, just so we're going to click on her profile, right? I actually read about her in an article because she has 2.7 million followers on Instagram. And I need you to look at this. She got a for real entire lifestyle. So you could think about creating a character in your marketplace for whatever it is. It could be a future real estate buyer, and you give it a disclaimer. She says she's an AI robot, just so that we'll know, okay? Another person came up to me because they're receiving via their Facebook business page a lot of messages. I will tell you these messages are fake messages. Do not click on them. They are spam and or phishing attacks. So we're getting, you can look at the time, 1204, 611, 821, 942, 1029 are the fake messages that I've received already today via my Facebook business page. Yeah, a lot of people are getting them. Do not click on them. They are phishing attacks. So do not click on them. The reason I have so many, because I disabled the notifications. I'm tired of getting the notifications, okay? So take those off. Now, someone did ask me, and I tell people, seek first to understand, how am I able to detect and or create? So I'm going to show you how I will create a character. I'm going to run over here, and we're going to do this quick because it wasn't included in the class. We're going to do this quickly. And if you see me and you got your mobile device, I'll show you how to do anything from the palm of your hand. I'm going to come over here, and I am going to go into ChatGPT, and I'm going to do a plug-in to create basically a prompt for a image. This is how I have to prompt it. I want a headshot for an African American female realtor selling real estate in Chicago. Okay, and I'm going to hit enter, and what it is going to do inside of ChatGPT is it should give me a couple of different prompts, a better description than what I just gave it. Now I know it's working now because I saw that little green button, right? And it's going to give me a couple of different image descriptions, but I want you to see the ease in which it takes in order to create these. The reason I'm asking specifically for a headshot is if I'm going to make it talk, I want it facing forward. So I asked for a headshot so that I don't get a side view of a face, or else I would need to regenerate my description. I am going to simply copy, not everything that says image prompt, but where it started with professional. So you see, it gave me 6 different descriptions. I'm going to copy this. We're going to come down here to Mid-Journey. The reason I'm coming to Mid-Journey is because it is my favorite text-to-image tool, but I'm going to show you how to do it 3 different ways, okay? I'm going to do /imagine. I am going to paste that description and hit enter. I'm going to show you how to do it via Mid-Journey, how to do it via ChatGPT, and also how to do it via Canva while it's generating. Yes, sir. Another person can put that identical prompt in, and they will have a face that is a variant. Can you do it with the free version of ChatGPT? No, because you don't have access to Dolly, but you can do it with the free version of Bing and use the new, the Bing image creator. Okay. And yes, you can do it via Canva because Canva is allowing you to use Canva Media for free. Okay. So they gave me these 4 beautiful young ladies. I already know which one I'm going to take. I'm going to take the bottom left-hand side, okay? That means I'm going to come and I'm going to hit U3 because I just want to isolate that one photo, okay? So we got our one photo. I'm going to download that photo. We're going to save this to our computer. Hit save. Now I'm going to go to a second tool. I think it's $4.70 per month. And it is called, Studio DID. Once I'm in Studio DID, and you know y'all getting the quick down and dirty version, we're going to go into sign in, we're going to log in, and you're going to see some of the other people I've created. So let me kind of give you an example. I created this young gentleman. So that's what we're going for, okay? I'm going to now create a video, and I'm going to load the picture we just created in less than a minute, okay? Yes, I create, some of you all know, I have my own digital human avatar that looks and sounds like me. Yeah, I'll show you something on that. So here we go. I'm going to go to downloads. I'm going to load this picture, and we're going to create a talking video. Yeah, this is one of me right here. Okay, so now I'm going to take this. I'm not going to do wide. We're going to do, was that a square picture? Let's do square. And we're going to take her and drop her into the square. Okay. Now, I need to give her something to talk about. So I'm going to go back over here to ChatGPT because I've been up creating content. And we wrote, I think, we got a new course for North Carolina. So I'm going to look at what the course, I'm just going to copy and paste some words that we already have. And we're going to give her, it's taking this time. Okay. So this is my veteran posts. So let's see if I can find a little content. Oh, let's go to the veteran agent buyer. Let's go here. We're going to create something. Focusing on veteran buyers is not just a business strategy. Let's copy this. Okay. And we're going to AI housing assistant. I just need some words. I'm going to come back over here. We're going to paste the words that we took from ChatGPT and think of it as a script. I'm going to make her speak English, and I want her to have a female's voice. I'm just going to scroll down, and I'm not going to pick through the voices. We're going to call her Serena. So we're going to sample what Serena's voice sounds like.
Focusing on veteran buyers is not just a business strategy.
Okay, so I'm going to do that, and now I'm going to generate the voice, and let's see what the whole voice sounds like. I'm going to now hit generate video, top right hand corner. And in a minute or so, it will make the picture talk. We're going to give it a second. I can do it on my phone. I'm doing it right here on the computer though. But every tool that you see on the computer is on my phone. So like I said, if I got internet connectivity on a flight, I am working the entire time creating content. All we need is internet connectivity and our mobile device, and everything you see me doing here on my laptop, I can do it on my desktop, and I can do it on my phone from the palm of my hand, okay? So let's see what the young lady over here is looking like. But now you can see how we can be so easily deceived. So not only do we need to protect ourselves, we need to also protect the buying and selling public. So let's click on this. A little off on the cheek.
Embracing this niche can be both rewarding and profitable. We invite you to explore more about VA housing assistance.
It's that easy. So imagine how quickly we can be defrauded, right? That's why deep fakes are real, but I think we should know how to leverage it to go back to core standards, to go back to the strategic plan, right? There's no excuse today to not represent everybody who's in the communities in which we serve because of the ease of using tools, provided that we let people know it is AI generated. Yes, sir.
So what's the feedback you get with your audience interacting with AI on your social platform versus like you yourself, real human beings? Like what's the feedback, like good, bad, or indifferent?
First of all, totally mesmerized first. So it's your unique selling proposition. I want to be known for standing out and doing something different, right? A lot of times people don't know the difference, right? So I've gotten good feedback. I've gotten scary feedback. I would say good to scary is generally what I'm receiving. But here's the thing. I still totally interact as a person, right? So this morning, if you saw my video, it's me using an eyebrow brush to brush my hair because I don't have a brush, right? People know that was me, but by the end of the day, they're going to get something AI generated as well. Let me give you, let me show you the example. So y'all want to see this. So you should give them a mix of who you are and some AI. You don't want it to be all or the other, right? So I'm just going to kind of show you in the last 24 hours what you would have gotten from me, right? So I'm going to do video every single day. This is me this morning in the hotel room. So that's me. But then let me tell you what yesterday was. Yesterday was National Peppermint Day. Was that Friday? A couple of days ago. Pickled. No. It was National Peppermint Day, and I went with a delicacy on the south side of Chicago where people actually, I guess it's like fried fish on Fridays, eat pickles and put peppermint in it. So I know, I'm just telling you, it's a Chicago South Side thing. There are even stores that sell it, right? But wait, let me tell you. So I go find the content. I create both of the images. One is a coloring book image. One is a regular image. She's a cutie pie, right? Licking on her pickle with a peppermint in it. But here's what's crazy. There are people in the comments who did the same thing and told me the candy store that they got theirs from. I'm just telling exactly. So a little bit of AI and human. So every day I'm giving you a little bit of both because one, I want people to know that AI is real. It's here. It's not imaginary. People thinking, oh, that's on its way. No. It's here right now, right? So a little bit of both. Yes.
Are you going to show us your talking avatar that looks like you?
Oh, I can show you. Yeah, I got a couple of avatars that look like me. So we'll come over here. And then we're going to go back to the content because I got to give you some more ethics. Just y'all getting CE. We got to get you some more ethics in here. Let's come here and take a look here at a couple. Yeah, I got quite a few of them that do different things. So let me scroll down just a little bit. Try to find you something. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I got a couple of them. Hold on. Let me go back. I got to go down just a little bit to give you a couple of them.
Are you doing a video every day?
I do video content every single day. No matter how I look, no matter how I feel, I'm going to give you a little video. Now, this is not the one I use all the time, but this is an example of one. No, that's AI. But that's not the one I want to show you because she's not in my voice. I want to show you one that looks like me and sounds like me. Let me see if this is it. Oh, that's not her either. But she looks like me, but she has a different voice. So I have quite a few. Oh, here you go. The only difference with that one is I used a third-party tool called Descript that has already been trained on my voice. So I can take any script, any words, and make those words sound like me. So Descript or a tool called 11 Labs, you can take it and make it sound like you. I'm seeing your faces. I know. It's kind of hard, right? To be ethical today with all of these tools that exist, but we have to be aware of the tools. Yes.
Marci, you said that you have taken your productivity 280% more since you leveraged AI. Can you tell us some of the ways that you have really increased your productivity?
So let me be clear, because that's tomorrow. I need y'all to get up and come to class in the morning, okay? I am going to teach you how I increased my productivity by 261% thereby increasing my income by 283%. I will tell you it started actually last November. I read the book U Squared. Reading the book U Squared means that I was already mentally prepared to have a quantum leap. I believe that I did not have to have incremental growth. At the time I was 52, I'm like, I got all the degrees, the designations, the certifications. I want to know, how do I have a quantum leap? So that when ChatGPT was introduced to me the first week of December of last year, I already thought that I'm supposed to double, right? I instantly gravitated to ChatGPT. Like we have had a love affair for the past year, okay? I'm just saying. And when you see your productivity and your income increase, the love just grew deeper and deeper. How many more ways can I use this tool? So tomorrow morning, we're doing a 3-hour CE course, and I'm going to teach you what I've done to increase my productivity. But the first thing is think about your SOPs, your standard operating procedures. Think about your business plan. Think about your voice, your tone, your style. I have AI trained on all of that. So not only do I create the content, it sounds like me. And tomorrow I'll give that to you in 3 hours in class, or at the beginning. But let me come back. The bigger problem that I see for us is the lack of consistency. So this is not a one-hit wonder. I use AI every single day. You see the ease that I'm using these tools. So I'm more productive than not only my counterparts in my age bracket, but the next generation of realtors. So I think on Thursday I'm doing a class just for YPN, for them to be the 5-star young professional and how they can leverage the tool in their business. Yes, and I'm gonna start walking to the back. Yes.
Is there a way to put some kind of little watermark or something on the videos, even a small AI, just kind of, instead of having to write words, this is AI generated, is there a way to just do that?
So the question is there a way to put a watermark on your videos and also your photos? Yes, you might have saw at the bottom left-hand corner, those videos had a AI in the bottom left-hand side. But what I want you to think about is one that is custom to you. Over inside of Canva, you can go to canva.com/logos. You can create essentially your little head, and you can put AI created in a circle around it, okay? You have to download that file as a PNG transparent photo. Because what I don't want is a white box around my logo, right? That's ugly. A picture on top of a picture is ugly. So we don't want to do JPEG on top of JPEG or PNG on top of PNG. If we're going to put a picture on top of another picture, we want to do what is called a PNG transparent photo. It removes the background. So on Canva, you can download that to your computer, your mobile device, and on any video or photo, you put your PNG transparent picture on top of it, and it can be branded to you, all of that. And you can do that. Oh, let me just be clear. Let me clarify. I was going to say you could do it for free. If you have the free version of Canva, they do not allow you to download a PNG transparent photo. However, write this website down, remove.bg. In remove.bg, you can load any picture and for free remove the background. That is remove.bg. Remove. Well, you have to have the paid version of Canva to be able to remove the background from not only photos, but videos. I'm just giving you a little, because I don't want you to get over there and get mad at me. So I'm telling you now, you cannot download a transparent PNG file, okay, from Canva if you're using the free version. But you can download it as a photo and go over to remove.bg and remove the background. I got a couple of hands, yes.
So if you get Canva for the $119 annually, then you don't have to remove that.
If you get the premium version of Canva, then no, do not use remove.bg. And in Canva, you can remove the background from photos and videos. So you can take, let me give you an example. There's a young, is he out of this state? No, he's out of another state. We said we have lunch, right? I'm in his state. And he had to do 3 different video shots for his campaign. And the reason he did the first one is because he had his swimming pool in the background. And he says, Marky, I had to redo the script, and then I went over to the other side of town to do the video, but the wind was blowing, so they said, nope, you can't do this video. So then I had to wait another week to go do another video. I laughed. I said, you know, you could have loaded that first very perfect video into Canva, remove the background, and put any scenery you wanted in the back. He says, I wasted all that time. So you could have the perfect video, but you realize, and the reason he didn't want the pool is because he did not want to be viewed as the rich candidate, right? The candidate with all the money, right? And everybody don't have a pool in his neighborhood. And so you can remove the background from your videos as well. And I'm gonna keep coming back. Yes, and then I'm coming over there. Yes. Yes, sir.
Hi. So
Hey.
I'm just curious, you mentioned when the class first started about the government has created AI.gov.
Yes.
So knowing everything that you know, what are your expectations as far as like regulating any type of controls that you expect to be put in place? I mean, I'm expecting like probably nothing, but I'm just curious like what your expectations are knowing where we are and how much you are already involved.
Ooh. I anticipate that the powers to be making the rules and regulations really don't know what's going on. That they will have to hire, and if you go to the AI.gov, they have a list of jobs. That, she laughed, that lets you know that they don't have the people to make the decision. They want to hire the people to come up with the rules and regulations, because initially they thought that they were going to leave the decision making to like OpenAI, Microsoft. Here's the problem. We've been AI'd, every person in this room, for a minimum of a decade. Every person in this room uses AI whether they know it or not. I like the fact that it's in the hands of several people as opposed to the hands of a few rich people. I don't want a few rich people making all the rules and regulations, right? I will tell you, if you look at that website and you see all the different positions they're hiring for, they're currently not in a position to make the rules and regulations because they don't have any trusted people that are employees to help them define those rules and regulations. It depends on the ethics of the person in which they hire.
Well, that's sort of what I was asking.
Yes. So.
I mean, because at some point, you know, because it's already here and there are so many people using it, and I've listened to lots of podcasts about what people are speculating that this is going to be used for, and of course there's lots of people saying, well, our jobs are going to be outsourced. Well, that might be
Check. 1, 2.
I'm here. You know, but I'm just wondering, like, someone's got to be sort of, at some level, monitoring it in some way, otherwise.
The people who are monitoring it would be the corporations that created it, and that's the problem. So do I think that we have an issue? Yes, I do think we have some issues. Do I think that the world is going to come to an end as a result? No, I'm a little bit more optimistic than that. But my thought process is, if it's going to come to an end, I would assume that they would take advantage of those who don't know before they take advantage of those who do know. And so I want to learn as much as possible, knowing that I'm way behind, right, on learning, just so hopefully I can detect some things like the deep fake videos or the deep fake audios, or know to not respond to some of these phone calls, or how somebody asked me, Marky, what about all of these messages we're getting in Facebook? They're all fake, right? So we're going to see more fraud occur as a result of these tools. What I would state though, it's the same fraud we've already been exposed to, but harder to detect. And so the same way we should not be clicking on every link in our emails, here's how we get caught up. We're in a rush. We don't have enough time in a day. We see the email. We don't really read the email, and we click. It is the absolute worst mistake we can make as practitioners. It is okay to wait to respond so that you do not make a mistake. And so I don't let the messages overwhelm me, and I'm going to tell you why. Maybe about a couple of months ago, I'm getting ready to get on a plane. I receive an email to myself from myself. Oh, I'm straight up in panic mode. Because I'm like, I've been hacked. How is this possible? An email to myself from myself. And I could tell that the N was not a regular N on any word. And I'm going to tell you what I really knew. The actions that they said that I had taken, I never took. And I'm going to tell you what it said. It says that we are checking and monitoring your online activity. We know that you've watched porn. And that's what it said, right?
2.
And I'm like to myself, well, I haven't watched any porn. This has to be a lie. And I deleted it. Now, it also had a nice little link in it that they wanted me to pay them in crypto and that they wanted me to pay them $1,500 in crypto. Then I started thinking about the value of my business and all of the information that I have access to. I said, well, $1,500 is nothing. They don't understand if they did all this, they got this account, this account, this account, this account, this account. Oh, and I have not watched no porn. Delete. So I see my good friend, Burton, and I said, hey, Burton, I get an email from myself. He says, Marci, it's so easy to spoof a person's email. Right? But some of us don't know. So you know that today. If you get an email from yourself to yourself, and maybe you do watch a little porn, that... because they got that person, right? That maybe you should, that don't confess and delete the email, okay? If you don't get nothing else from this class, take that away. All right. Yes.
So, is there a reason that we should have a large concern about using this with the possibility of plagiarism?
There is a huge concern, great question, of using it in regards to plagiarism. So I think I might have told you earlier, I have trained the systems to sound like me. When I am doing a prompt, I'm using what is called a voice paragraph. I have sampled my own writing, and it tells you the tone, the style, and the voice. When I ask it to do something like writing a paper or anything, I'm doing it in my voice paragraph, which means it is already paraphrasing all of the content from the internet into my voice paragraph. When I use my plagiarism checker inside of Grammarly, I tend to always have 2% or less of plagiarism, but in the sidebar, it tells me exactly where that sentence might already exist. So because I'm using my voice paragraph, two things are occurring. I'm less likely to get plagiarized content, and I'm less likely to get AI detected content. Now, when I walk back up to the computer, I'm going to show you a voice paragraph. It's simple instructions, but I use it if I'm going to hold any content out to the public because I don't want plagiarism and I don't want it to be detected for AI. Good question. Yes, sir.
Thank you for your program, Marci, and hi to Bill, your good friend.
Hey.
And what do you see in the future with all these copycat lawsuits happening, especially from the real estate industry right now? With the, AI-generated descriptions and misrepresentations and listings. Is that happening now? Are you going to see anything increase, of course? Especially with the copycat lawsuits that are going to be going in all the states from NAR and all the,
So according to the lawsuit, because we just going to be transparent, we live in a litigious society. We know that the date that the verdict was handed down, I think 5 more lawsuits were filed. I definitely believe that we're going to be inundated with a bunch of lawsuits. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is Marci speaking as an individual practitioner. One thing that I've done is I've gone back to my why. Why did I come into real estate in the first place? And that has become my focus. I am not a member of any Facebook group that the creator does not monitor their group. I've disconnected from non-reliable media sources that everything is a clickbait headline. And I've gone back to focusing on my business because, truth be told, as long as I have a valid license, I can sell real estate.
Great answer, thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I don't know if this is as much of a question as it is a comment, that when I started as a real estate professional about 9, almost 10 years ago, I was like this young guy with no money. I had like even the $3.49 that I paid for the class was like I had to work 2 nights as a bartender to get it. So, and when I did that, not knowing how life-changing the industry would be for me, one of the concerns I had was that I didn't want to look like an amateur, even though I was. And so I had this thing where I wanted to pay for graphic designers to make it look like I was equally as professional. And then I was at a boutique brokerage that also didn't have a huge budget, didn't have a lot of templates. And what I'm seeing now with the use of AI, it creates the opportunity for us to have that I had to pick up extra shifts, to make, because I was at the time, I was okay with a little bit of content. I was okay if my posts were only once a month or something like that, but when I posted them, they needed to be up to par.
I got you.
And so this, what you're teaching now is that doesn't have to be a concern whether you're advanced in this or whether you're a beginner. The reality is there's no excuse at this point. Remember, it's downright laziness if you don't look up to par.
Say it again. It's downright. And look, and now he's still young, but he got money, right? And so he's still young, and I'm telling people this is the no excuse zone. There's no reason to not have content. Now, tomorrow I'm going to show you exactly how much content you need. If you want to earn or create a sustainable 6-figure income, you need to put out 1,000 words of content every single day. What I will tell you, if you look at the Trulias and the Zillow, of the world, or even Homes.com, one thing that they do is consistently put out content. If you want to put yourself in a position to not have to buy leads, and I do not buy any leads, because what I'm going to do is put out content every single day. So you see, I've already put out one video. People going to engage with that video. I'm standing here with an eyebrow brush, brushing my baby hairs down, okay? But it's an endearing. I didn't talk about real estate yet today, but I will talk about real estate sometime today. So put the content out there if you want to put yourself in a position to not generate leads. And as I'm telling people, I am pulling out content now from 2008 because I had content then, and breathing new life into it because of artificial intelligence. Yes, and then over here.
For your AI, did you use like pictures to make it look so similar to you, or so you can, that program you were using, you can like upload your own photos to?
I'm gonna show you.
Okay.
So you're saying to post every single day at least once?
At least.
Okay, on Facebook, business page, personal page, both?
Where you have the most engagement.
Personal.
And so let me tell you what. On Facebook, for your Facebook business page, if you don't have any ad spend, the likelihood is you're not getting great engagement. Do I post to both? Yes. So I have 2 private groups. I have a business page, and I also have a personal page. I'm going to always start with my personal page because that's where I'm going to get the most engagement. The purpose for a Facebook business page, and I don't want anybody to think any different, is for you to spend money on ads. If you're not spending money on ads, the likelihood is it's not benefiting your business. Yes, sir.
On the Facebook pages,
It's okay.
on the Facebook pages, are you developing all of your content around the real estate? Are you paying for the verification on Facebook, or does that not make any difference?
So I pay for the verification, but the only reason I pay for the verification because of the multiple versions of myself that existed. I will tell that it's cut down on the people who become Marci Lemons, but they add 2 I's or 2 R's or 2 M's or 2 N's, because I've seen every variation. I'm not saying that it boosts my business in any form or fashion. I have not seen an increase as a result. It just has reduced the amount of headaches I have from trying to take down, and it's the one thing that even though they can duplicate variations of your name, they are not able to duplicate that little blue check mark, okay? Tomorrow, I'm going to break down my whole content creation policy, leveraging artificial intelligence, which is how we were able to be more productive and earn more money. Yes?
A follow-up to that, Dana, is are you doing long enough videos? Are you doing long that Facebook is putting commercials in there that, or are you just doing short 30-second videos to get the point?
I do a variation of videos. My videos on Facebook run as little as whatever we just saw this morning. I do have a lot of webinars, so up to 2 hours. I have not monetized my videos on Facebook, but what I have been able to do is when Instagram Reels were able to be monetized, I did receive a check every single month from Meta for my Instagram Reels. What I've done successfully leveraging Facebook and live videos, I mentioned earlier, I raised $88,000 for these 77. I have a fully funded scholarship at my local association through our education foundation. So I've raised a lot of money, but I've also generated a lot of leads. So to me, if they send me a check for a video, that's grand, you know, that's good, but that's not my intended purpose, right? So the other things have been intentional and had superseded my expectation with longer form videos. Yeah. Good questions. So I'm going to answer, I got to show one example, and that was with training the video, right? So can I train the images to look like me? Yes, you can train the images to look like you, and I'm going to show you an example, but I think you got your hand up. Yes?
Yeah, so I see everything that you're talking about is spiritual, right? My question is, what about robotics?
Oh, you see it as visual. What do you mean by robotic?
Because right now, Tesla and other, big inventors, creators, they already have robots.
Robots, uh-huh.
Yeah, and they are coming.
Oh, so robots are coming, but the question, are you asking me if I think they're going to replace us?
No, I think in general, what do you think? Because you are in this
Oh,
this market.
I'm not worried about robots because currently they can't get a real estate license. That means that they would, no, let me just say this. That means then they would have to change license law, right, for a robot to be able to replace us. But in my state, it is illegal and a $25,000 fine per offense. So a robot would be fined, okay, for practicing real estate without a license. So I will say today, that's the saving grace. The fact that our licensing rules and regulations are behind because you still need to legally sell real estate, right? You still got to have a real estate license, no matter how many robots are out here.
But you can use it as a tool.
You can use it as a tool, but guess what? We have to be very careful on it as a client-facing tool. Right? So now you got to go back and you got to look at your licensing rules and regulations. So could I have my little robot at a broker's open? Yes. Can I have it at a open house? No. Unless it is there truly just to, hand out sheets of paper, but I need to be present. So I could have the AI robot at the broker's open, but I can't have it by itself at the open house. Because we have to still adhere, guess what, to the same rules and regulations, even via technology. That was a good question. So let me show you this. So the question was, Marci, yeah, we see you created these images, but what if you want to make these images look like you? Can you train them? Yes, you can. And I'm going to tell you, though, you got to have a little patience, though. So the other day or last week, let's go back up here. Okay. I loaded this picture up. And what I then asked it to do, when you load a picture, every single picture, when I click on it right, it has its own link. So I copied the link, it's called a seed, to this picture. I then came down and I said, I put the link or the seed and I said AI robot. It took essentially the picture of me and it made it look like an AI robot. I believe that these images look sort of like the picture. So I gave it something to build these photos off of. So can you train them to look like you? Yes, you can. That was, any other questions on that? Okay. Anybody learning something new? All right. I want you to let them know you learned something new too, okay? The way this stuff is growing, you're going to need another AI class. You probably need one before the end of the year, but it's going to be okay.
We'll be back tomorrow.
Come back tomorrow. Don't let me make all this money by myself. Now, I just need y'all to know that. According to Article 1, when representing a buyer, seller, landlord, tenant, or other client as an agent, realtors pledge themselves to protect and promote the interest of their client. So I think we need to understand what these tools are, especially before we're putting new listings on the market, because they're guess what? We were having fraud in the first place. Can you imagine the amount of fraud our clients can see today as soon as we put those properties on the market? This obligation to the client is primary, but does not relieve realtors of their obligation to treat all parties honestly. When serving a buyer, seller, landlord, tenant, or other party in a non-agency capacity, realtors remain obligated to treat all parties honestly. So when we think about this, OpenAI threatened with lawsuit over ChatGPT defamation. This lawsuit could potentially set a precedent for holding AI developers legally accountable and responsible for the false or defamatory outputs of their system. Think about the pictures and any language. As a result of this case, there might be increased demand for AI developers to implement rigorous auditing and editing mechanisms to rectify inaccurate information generated by their systems. You cannot, the reason for us to know these tools, you cannot take anything at face value. We have to now click on the links to go see, or we should not instantly reshare that information. Because I'll tell you, it was well before AI. It was when Nelson Mandela passed away. All these websites had killed him well before he had passed away. Okay? And they're doing that now with these tools because Elon Musk, they create a new version of him every other day. And now with the Cybertruck coming out, I'm going to tell you right now, they're getting ready to have a field day. All right. So you want to be very careful because it can give you fake information. I will tell you a couple of tools that I'm using. I use a Chrome browser extension, but it's available on other platforms called, and this is if you're using the free version, called Web Chat GPT. The reason I use Web Chat GPT is because of the free version of Chat GPT is only trained up until 2021. So if I'm doing research on the housing market according to Dr. Lawrence Yun in 2023, I want to pull in actual citations. So can you pull in citations and then go and click on those links? Yes. I think I showed you I was doing a class for North Carolina. They wanted me to bring in North Carolina statistics. Well, guess what? I needed the references for that information because I need to be accurate. It gave me the citations. How am I getting the citations? Through a Chrome extension called Web Chat GPT that you can use for free. So there's really no excuse to put out erroneous or fake information when you can do a search and include citations, because now I'm going to read that additional information. Okay, so Web Chat GPT is free. There are numerous extensions that you can use for fact checking the information that it is giving you, especially if you're writing a blog post. So I'm writing a class, right? I'm sending that to their licensing board. I needed to have the visual proof and the actual citation for that information. Lawmakers aim to prevent the mistakes made in the past regarding privacy, safety, and security laws for social media companies. So they're letting us know, hey, when social media first came out, they dropped the ball. I'll tell you, this is kind of sad. We have some of the same decision makers in office today that we had when Facebook rolled out. If they didn't understand Facebook, you think they understand an artificial intelligence? That's why AI.gov is trying to hire people to come in and help. They are moving swiftly towards legislation driven by recognized AI risk and benefits. Industry leaders have advocated for AI regulations to address concerns such as disinformation, job displacement, and one thing that we have not talked about, and we're not going to go into detail, but I'm going to just mention the word electoral disruption. Oh, well, can you imagine all of the fake players we getting ready to see online? We live in a world of deep fake. I just want to give you this food for thought before it started. Can you imagine how many videos we getting ready to see that won't be real, and I don't care what party you align with? We will see more fake information this election than we've ever seen in any election in the past. I just want you to be aware, okay? If you see somebody say something, fact check to make sure that they said it, okay? I'm not even, look. Yes.
In the midterms of 2022, was there AI going on?
There was AI going on. So in 2022, was AI there? Yeah, because we've been AI'd for well over a decade.
Oh, God.
So we didn't know it was going on. But was it in the hands of corporations and fake players? Yes, 100%. So did we see it? Yes, we saw it. And let me tell you why. I've been using Grammarly ever since September the 13th, 2015. Grammarly is artificial intelligence. I've been using Otter.ai as a plug-in on Zoom since 2019. Otter.ai that was doing my text transcription from every Zoom webinar and meeting is AI. So we've been using anything that has an AI extension or IO extension is likely artificial intelligence. I'm just throwing that out there. At least 10 years. We've been AI'd for a decade, whether we know it or not. It's just become substantially more visible since November the 30th, 2022 because of ChatGPT. And ChatGPT got to 1 million users in 5 days. There are 180 million users today, and in the past month, over 1.7 billion visitors to one platform. Microsoft announces the new Copilot copyright commitment to customers. So I mentioned Copilot earlier. What Microsoft is saying, and I don't know if you know this, they're a major investor inside of OpenAI, the parent company of ChatGPT. Actually, when the CEO was let go 2 weeks ago from OpenAI, he received a job offer from Microsoft. Okay? Get this. 738 of the 770 employees said that they would leave if they did not bring the CEO back. Yeah, so that speaks a lot to the CEO. But this commitment is a response to the uncertainties surrounding copyright laws and aims to ensure that customers can utilize generative AI services without fear of legal repercussions while encouraging responsible usage and compliance with content filters and safety measures. So Copilot, for those of you who use any Microsoft, you might see it on your computer. It's on this computer. So I can use that tool and know that I'm going to be in compliance with copyright, but I pay for Microsoft. So the tools that you're paying for will likely, Microsoft is one of the first ones to give us this guarantee because other platforms have not given that guarantee out. Some of you I might have seen in the past teaching just my social media ethics course. And I thought that I would pull this image back that I've been using now, for a decade. Because when we think about AI, we still have to adhere to all of these rules and regulations. So not only do we have to adhere to license law, not only do we have to adhere to the Realtors Code of Ethics, not only do we want to take into consideration core standards of the National Association of Realtors and the 2023 to 2025 strategic plan, we need to also think about the National Labor Relations Act, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, the Electronic Communication Privacy Act, the Communication Decency Act, HIPAA, even though we tell all our medical conditions online in real time. Just want to point that out. We have the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. We have FINRA. and we have the FTC. Now, some of these rules, let's just go back to 1934. The National Labor Relations Act protects workers' rights to discuss hours, wages, and working conditions on social media. What is the rule, because we're not employees, we're independent contractors, that covers us in real estate? Well, we just had a DOJ lawsuit. Why don't you think about that for a minute? Antitrust. There's no average, no standard, no normal compensation in the world of real estate. So what I see a lot of times, or have seen in the past in those private Facebook groups, is that somebody will say the average compensation is, and that is simply not true, because we don't have an average, a standard, or a normal. So not only do we need to adhere to every other rule I just talked about, the same rules that apply to social media also apply to artificial intelligence. If not, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get fired. But I want you to think before that. It's not even a matter of us getting fired. It's a matter of us never getting hired. Because we've said or done something that we should not have said and or done. And I tell people all the time, young gentleman in my marketplace, he's going through a couple of things right now. He called me. My son asked me to talk to him. Take the time out of my schedule to talk to him. I will tell you, the past week, he has undone everything that we talked about because of the nature of his post. Now, if you know somebody is talking about a sexual harassment lawsuit against you, why do you post a picture of your bedroom? It's just some simple things you don't do, okay? And so it's not a matter of being fired. Today, when people go online and they see what you're talking about, do you put them down? And I'll give you my example of put down. I have a good friend of mine. Well, she's not a good friend. I have a young lady I graduated from high school with. She relocated, and she's in the weight loss industry. And at one point, I thought about hiring her. You know, help me get a little smaller in the hip area, right? Until one day, she makes a post on Facebook. And she says, my client came in all excited about her weight loss. How do I tell her I don't see what she sees? You think I'm gonna ever let her help me get a little smaller in the waist area? I'm not doing business with her because of something that she posted. Oh, a lot of people had a lot of comments, right, on her post. You know, they thought it was funny. I didn't find it to be funny at all, okay? I know that I'm not going to do business with her, and I know I'm not going to do business with anyone who thinks it's okay to signify and put another person down, because now I don't know in the future when I'll be the butt of your joke. We got to be careful about the jokes that we make and the things that we like, or for that matter, the screenshots that people are taking and sending behind our back, whether we know it or not. Only reason I know about screenshots is because someone took a screenshot of a post that I made about 13 years ago and sent it to the director of IDF PR. Had it not been for the director, and the director made a mistake, and I love her till this day. She sent me an email. She says, Marci, someone sent me a copy of your post, but she made sure that she forwarded me the email that the person sent to her on my behalf. A fellow instructor who, I don't know if she called herself getting me in trouble. So as soon as I see this email from the director, I got to scroll through the email to try to figure out what she's talking about. You know I don't trust that person, okay? But what I do trust is the director. She said, hey, Marci, you made a post of something I said at a meeting. She says, can you revise your post because I misquoted the law? That's what the director said. Of course, let me go and edit this post right now. Now, as I was reading it, I was already willing to just take a L for the director, right? Because I know what she said. She knew what she said. She admitted to what she had said. And so if it was not for that, I would not have known the ease in which people in your circle will take a screenshot and roll you under the bus. Okay? Transparency. A lack of transparency and explainability in AI algorithms can raise legal concerns related to consumers' rights, privacy, and accountability more widely. Infringements could lead to fines by regulators, not to mention reputational damage. As a developer or publisher, you should address the following considerations: the user consent and data privacy rules, and then algorithmic transparency. Algorithmic. Oh yeah, see, we all messed up, right? Yeah, that algorithm transparency. I would just say algorithm transparency. It's that mick that has me tongue-tied, okay? Realtors, in attempting to secure a listing, shall not deliberately mislead the owner as to the market value. From the beginning of FHA, appraisers gave high ratings to mortgage applications if there were no African Americans living or nearby the neighborhood, but also lowered the risk estimates for individual properties in restrictive deed languages. We're going to have more issues with appraisal values moving forward, okay? Because this is an issue. It's been in the media a lot over the past couple of years, especially because lawsuits are starting to be settled where people have had to pay for multiple appraisals. My local association, we had what was called the second look. And so if you thought that your original appraisal was not true in value, we would actually pay up to $500 for you to have a second appraisal done on your property. So these are some of the faces of what this looks like, where as a result of them being present in their home, they received one appraised value. One of my agents actually said, Marci, it's a shame that we have to de-blackify our homes. I'll tell you, I know for a fact we got to de-blackify our homes. I remember taking a listing in a suburb, and my client called me in tears. She says, Marci, they came in my house and made me feel worthless. How do we address this issue? I told her she had a lot of beautiful African artwork. I said, can you pack your house as if you are moving and it is sold? She politely took all her artwork down, packed every kente cloth she had away. I said, who's your girlfriend in the cul-de-sac that'd be willing to come over? She had a lot of girlfriends. They were willing to come over. Her good girlfriend came over, who does not look like her. Showed the house. We got an offer in record time. I told her, I do not want you to be present for the inspection and or the appraisal. I need the same person to be at the property. I said, I don't even want you to show up, get this, to the closing table on time. Send your attorney and tell them to notify you when they have signed all documents and show up. If you could have seen the look on the buyer's face when they walked through the front door. So we've been de-blackifying houses. This is very true, okay? And so it's not new, it's just becoming, because of social media and technology. And we're not talking about $10,000 here. We're talking about like a 40% variance in value because a person of color owns the property. So this was one of the very first ones that occurred. So just so you know, this is happening everywhere, okay? This is the second one that occurred, okay? And this is the couple who actually settled their recent lawsuit. But in every situation, the only reason they knew it was fraud because every last one of them did blackified their house. Every one of them staged their house with a non-black friend to be present for multiple occasions. Now, y'all looking at me, it's rough out here, right? Yeah, it's rough. But this is the world in which we live in, even though there are recording devices everywhere. And this is how appraisers feel. Not all. Let me be clarified, not all. This is how some appraisers feel. Thank you very much. Not all. Because guess what? I always got my value. I just need to say that. Okay. I'm showing up and I got paperwork in my hand. We gonna be the best of friends before you leave up out of my properties. This has not happened to me, but we did de-blackify a house before. And I don't think you should have to do that. AI tools and technologies for real estate brokers, discrimination, coming when it comes to, now that was appraisal issues, okay? And is that discrimination? Yes, but not necessarily a realtor discriminating, okay? So what's new? What are we seeing in the world? Bias and fairness in the AI algorithms. Think about every picture that I have shown you. AI algorithms used in things like video games have the potential to perpetuate bias and unfairness, both intentionally and unintentionally. For example, by generating characters that show racist, sexist, or violent behavior. The AI art might have defaulted to Caucasian male, but guess what? There weren't any women present either. So then that would be considered sexist, okay? Discrimination and equality ensure that the AI algorithms do not discriminate against individuals based on protected characteristics such as race, gender, or religion. Implement measures to address potential biases in AI decision-making processes, especially in multiplayer video games where fairness and equality are crucial. Data bias and training. Examine the data used to train the AI algorithm and mitigate biases that may arise from screwed or incomplete data sets. This is why we keep talking about the ethics of the data. And I will tell you, all data currently is unethical. We have to offset its past training to get to an ethical and just future, because there is no perfect data on the internet. It all has a little skew to it, and this is what we're working with. That's why I intentionally create AI art, because I want to see women represented, because I want to see people from every different race represented. Fair housing advertising words and paraphrases. And so this is a list of words and paraphrases. I think this is the list of things that we should not use. Let me walk up on it so that I can see this a little better. Yeah. I'm going to go with, these are things we should not use. This is a list that we could easily load into AI to help train it. So when we looked at that chat black GPT, don't ever use these phrases and or terminology. So as much as we want to tell it what to do, we have to also tell it what not to do. Okay, and this is a list I've been using this list probably 15 years, but I would want to train it not only on the good data, but also loading the bad data. So because we can create our own GPTs, we can create one that we load this information that would never give these type of responses that we don't desire. Yes, sir.
Where can we get this list? Thank you.
Oh, you want the list of language? I will make sure that Triple Play gets the language to be able to share, or I'll post it online. So if you all are following me at Marci Lemons, I got some other things I need to post online. I'll make sure that you all get it some kind of way. That's not a problem. Yeah. Becoming and remaining informed. A realtor should strive to seek reliable information on matters that depend in whole or in part upon information or knowledge the realtor may provide to the clients and the customers. And so when we're sharing information, right, we've talked time and time again about how we need to double check the information that we are providing. That is our responsibility. If not, we might give fake or erroneous information. So I would advise you, stop sharing as much content if you don't verify it. Verify the content before you share the content so that you are not giving, guess what, false or fake information. But how do I remain informed? I set aside 15 minutes every single day to learn something new. I have subscribed to multiple AI newsletters. I get about 5 newsletters every single day because I want to know what's coming. Now, I'm not reading every single one, but I scan them. And I went and I took out all these old things that I no longer need. Every day I'm hitting that unsubscribe button. I want to know as much about AI as possible, so I want it to be at the top of my inbox. But as a result, because we only have so much time in the day, there are things that I am no longer reading, not subscribed to, because it is not going to educate me about this process, and we're just scratching the surface of artificial intelligence. So I would consider that to be just being a little bit more intentional. Realtors should not undertake to provide specialized professional services concerning a type of property or service that is outside of their field of competency unless they engage the assistance of one who is competent on such type of property or services, or unless the facts are fully disclosed to the client. I told you I'm creating Spanish content. I have no intentions on serving that client because I'm not competent. But I know a plethora of realtors who are competent. This now opens the opportunity to do referral business with what I know in a lot of cities will become the #1 language before I actually retire. And I want to be able to retire in style. I want to know what questions do you have, because we're at about 8 minutes before the hour. I got more content, but we talked about a lot of subjects today. I will tell you, if you want to know how to increase your productivity by 261% and your income by 283%, tomorrow at 9, which means you can't stay out and party all night long. I know how we like to do it right in Atlantic City. It means go on in there and get your little shut-eye. You can party tomorrow night, but tonight might not be the night for you to party. I want to know, what questions do you have in closing? I will tell you, I'm going to come to the opening party tonight, but I'm going to go to bed because I'm going to be here tomorrow morning on time. If you have any questions, just slide up on me. Make sure you got your mobile device, because I'm going to show you how to do it from the palm of your hand. I practice what I preach. I want to tell you, Triple Play, it's been fun being here with you today. I hope to see you at the after party and tomorrow morning in class. Thank you.